Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here, and welcome to episode 3 of the Road to Glory here with Kyla Adams and Summit Wrestling. Now, I just wanted to say a big thank you because the support on the first two episodes has been pretty incredible. I think episode 1, within the first 17, 18 hours, we got 15 likes, which, I haven't seen that since the start of maybe Football Manager 2020. And even then, I don't think I got 15 in the first, 17 hours. So thank you for all the likes. If you could smash the like button again and show your support for the series on this video, it'd be much appreciated. And also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you do that right now. If you hit the notification bell, you will also be notified when these episodes come out. Yeah, apart from that, let's get straight into the episode. Of course, if you stuck around to the end of last episode, you will have already seen the ending stats of episode 2. But yeah, we'll give you a quick little look here at the skills. As you can see, we're up to a B- for psychology, charisma, and obviously star quality is still at 75. The top row, I would say the top row is starting to come along a little bit. We're up to 5s for the stats that started at 0 in the top row, the in-ring skills. And we're also up to 43 brawling and 38 flashiness, so gaining 3 points on both of those. Obviously, there's still a lot of work to do. Stamina. What was stamina? I think, yeah. Interesting. Stamina's went up 4 points last month. Obviously, running 9 shows is going to benefit that pretty greatly, especially having more than, well, we have 2 matches essentially for every wrestler on the card. Yeah, things are going well. I think at one point we were the most popular wrestler in the company, despite I haven't really put too much effort into pushing anyone above anyone else, if that makes sense. I'm gonna just throw it out there. I will be making the first championship for the company in the next episode. So make sure you check that out when it does eventually come out as well. But if we look at the popularity, it's going well. We're going well so far. We're on our way to small, which is pretty imperative in regards to the sponsorship money. I know I've talked about it a lot in the last 2 episodes. But the sponsorship money is where we're going to make our money back once we become small. We're going to take 1 or 2 months off at a time to try and get the finances out of the red, back in the black, and have a positive bank balance. But yeah, we're up to 6 importance in the Mid-South, and the popularity there is also 6. So pretty good. We've got a little bit of popularity across a few other regions with the spillover effect. And then we've got a little bit of popularity down there in Mexico as well. All right, well, with that said, let's keep booking, I guess. We're going to our first show, Survivor. We are going to do another 9 event or 9 show month. Hopefully we'll get to do the 9 shows during this episode. Again, I want to try and keep the episodes between 45 and 55 minutes long. Obviously, we can bump that up to maybe an hour if we need to, but I'd like to try and keep it under an hour per episode. I also want to say a big thank you to the viewers from the Greydogsoftware forum. I put a forum post in the actual thread itself, just for any of you guys to come and check it out. And I know there's probably been a couple, so yeah, welcome. I hope you're enjoying the series. We're going to continue going forward here and book another show. Like I said, it's very grindy at the start here. I want to fire him, but he's our only referee. He now has a hatred relationship with me. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's time for him to go. Yeah, definitely time for him to go. I mean, I can't even medal, which is a bit of a problem. Not that I want to medal anyway, but let's rib him. He's upset by my rib. Not really too fussed about that, to be honest. Alright, we definitely need to capitalize on this economy before it falls too low. Obviously, having a really good wrestling industry is going to benefit us growing in popularity. But if we can't get the popularity we need and the size that we need to get, sponsorship money before it tanks, then I would say we're in big trouble. And there is a grace period that lasts for, I think, about 18 months from the start of January in the game. So the first year is the grace period. And then I think you have 6 months to get yourself out of debt after the 12-month grace period. So a little bit scary. But again, this is the sort of strategy you need to have. And it is a strategy that I did use in the past in my previous personal Road to Glory. Anyway, let's book the first match of the episode. I'm going to do Cobra taking on Kyler Adams. We're both pushed as a mid-carder at the moment. I haven't done an auto push in a little while, since episode 1, I think. So that could be relatively interesting. I'm going to give Cobra the victory here. We'll get Mr. Bob Casey to be the road agent there. The other singles match we will do Hideo Kato, and he can take on Seth Whitehead. And I think I'll give Kato the victory. And of course, I can road agent that match, Kyler Adams. Seth is a little bit unhappy. I guess we'll just we'll keep him strong. And then we'll make the main event. Sorry, we'll make the main event the tag match. Again, just give it 13 minutes. And we will give Seth the victory, and yeah, Kato can lose, I guess. Bit of a 50-50 booking. Scenario going on there. Alright, we need an angle as well. An angle for... who will we go with? I guess we'll go with Seth and Cobra. I think Cobra is pretty good at promos. Alright, that works. Alright, let's run the show. First show of the episode, starting off with a 32E plus for the promo. No skill improvements there. We then go into a 28E with Cobra defeating Kyler Adams in 10:23 by submission with a Viper Vice. Not too bad. A 36D minus for Hideo Kato defeating Seth Whitehead in 10:14 by pinfall with a lariat. No improvements. And the main event gets a 35E plus, Cobra and Seth Whitehead defeating Kyler Adams and Hideo Kato in 12:43 when Whitehead defeated Kato by submission with a Minnesota stretch. And apparently, Cobra and Seth have great chemistry there as well. Interesting. We've got a few chemistry or positive chemistry notes there coming from Seth Whitehead. And yeah, Kyler Adams only getting a 19 in-ring performance. Alright, end the show, we get a 34E plus. Again, still going to be good enough to increase our popularity. Pavel is actually a wrestler that I'm pretty familiar with. He's a very talented European wrestler. Works in Japan a bit as well. If we ever find ourselves in Japan, might be a wrestler to pick up there. Alright, so we've gone up to 7 popularity there in the Mid-South, which is great. Still a little bit far away in regards to moving to small. Again, we need 11 importance in the the Mid-South region. And we're still at 6 despite going to 7 popularity. Alrighty. Actually, do you know what? I haven't actually finished making the title. I haven't actually started. It's not going to be anything special anyway. But you know what? Instead of making it next episode, let's make it this episode. I would like to crown a champion. Actually, I need to book in our show, which I'll do after this uprising. Alright, so Austin Smooth can take on Bob Casey. They will actually be tag team partners tonight because of my negative chemistry with Casey. But yeah, Austin to get the win. Actually, no, we'll give Casey the win. I really wish that my owner was younger. A 40-year-old owner just feels a little bit unfortunate in a way that we're not going to have an owner that's going to have a decent amount of time ahead in their career. Obviously, 40 plus is when they have a chance of appearing on the time decline list. Thus preventing them from growing and actually causing them to decline with their attributes. Who will we verse? Let's verse Seth. And we will I think we'll pull off a bit of a fluky victory. Let's not make it decisive. Not that it really means too much, but anyway. And Seth is still unhappy. Let me have a look at his popularity. I'm curious. It's only 17. I'm pretty sure it might have gone down, losing both matches, but yeah, it has gone down. Same popularity. I guess the push, him being a main eventer, Tyler Adams only being a mid-carder, is causing that to happen. But yeah, Seth and Kyler Adams gonna verse each other. Of course, the rivalry does continue. And then Austin and Casey will team together, despite also having a match. The winners can go to... Let's give Seth the victory. So, Kyler Adams losing both matches in the previous show, and now winning both in this show. Austin's upset. And Bob Casey is blocking. Okay. Interesting. I guess, yeah, Austin can lose, and I guess we'll keep him strong as well. Pretty frustrating. Anyway. We'll chuck in the angle, of course, as well. And we'll have Austin carry everything. Alright, there we go. And we'll just make this match a work the crowd match as well. We also need an extra minute. Okay, let's put an extra minute on this match. Let's go 12 minutes. Why not? Alright, there we go. Starting off the show with a 36 D-, we have Bob Casey defeating Austin Smooth with a roll-up in 9:31. We then have a 29 E. We've got Kyler Adams defeating Seth Whitehead in 11:51 by pinfall with a K trigger. We then have a 36 D- angle. There we go. Kyler Adams is developing better performance skills. Perfect. That's exactly what we need. Definitely going to help out the entertainment skills there. And of course, the better they get, the better the promos are going to be in the future. So, very happy with that. And the main event gets a 34 E+. Kyler Adams and Seth Whitehead defeated Austin Smooth and Bob Casey in 11:39 when Seth Whitehead defeated Austin Smooth by submission with a Minnesota stretch. And apparently Kyle Adams seemed off his game. It's a bit of a better performance. 21 in-ring. And apparently we also have Bob Casey improving in technical skills. Okay. Again, the overall show rating gets a 34E+, the same as the last one. Alrighty, so we will we'll schedule in this event, the big event, and like I said, we will crown our first champion. I think I'm just going to make it a North American championship. I don't want to make it a world championship. I feel like that's kind of a cop-out. I don't know. At least at this stage, we're only a local company based in, Denver, in Colorado. So, I mean, even having like a Colorado champion or something of that ilk, but I feel like North American is better suited to being the main event title, at least at this stage. Once we become a regional company with a decent amount of popularity and we're putting on excellent shows or something like that, then we can maybe think about having a proper world title or something of that ilk. But yeah, anyway. So of course, we have our events here. We have High Altitude, Gold Rush, and our third event is going to be called Continental Divide. Really like the name of this event. Alright, so Continental Divide. If I can remember how to spell it. Alright. There we go. And again, we have to just make it a 1 hour show. And we'll chuck it on week 4 of March on the Saturday. There we go. Continental Divide. And of course, we will have our first ever Summit North American champion. So we're not going to we'll create the title just before the event. But one thing I want to have a look at here, franchise players, we have Seth Whitehead. That's really interesting. Up to 18 popularity, which is great. I'm not 100% sure on how his skills are coming along. I guess they're kind of going up a little bit. Not too bad. I mean, the psychology has gone up massively, as well as the safety there as well. He's got good stamina, which is interesting. I'm assuming that the psychology boost there has a lot to do with Kyla Adams having such good popularity. Psychology. As you can see, we put it up to 70 to begin with, and it's actually gone up to 73, which is pretty impressive. And that's obviously going to rub off on all the rest of the talent that he's facing. So, yeah, good stuff. All right, let's advance. We'll get into the next Survivor show. Again, we want to just trudge through all these events and get into Continental Divide, which will hopefully be at the end of this episode, where, like I said, we'll crown our first North American champion. Should I make it North American or just United States? I feel like North American obviously allows you to defend the title in Canada to an extent. I mean, you can probably defend the title wherever you go, no matter what. But, yeah. I literally don't know who I'm going to make the champion, so it's going to be an interesting month, and I still haven't gotten rid of this guy. Alright, he has hatred. I thought he had hatred already, so I don't really see how that matters. Anyway, somehow the backstage rating actually went up despite that, so that's good. And apparently Gideon Kato, he's not in the notable personality list anymore for the language barrier, which is interesting. He's now just a positive influence, so I'm assuming that has something to do with it. Anyway, I am going to rest Seth, and we'll bring in Felipe for this show. He can take on Kyla Adams. Yeah, I mean, they have negative chemistry, but that's perfectly fine. We're only going to be in the opening match. Felipe to get the win. It's perfectly fine. And of course, we'll get Bob Casey to be the road agent, as he's working for free. Who else are we going to use? Let's use Cobra, and he can team up with Felipe. And then Austin Smooth can team up with Kyla Adams. I feel like these two look very similar with their pictures there. Interesting. Let's have Austin get the victory on Cobra. And finally, we'll have Austin take on Cobra. And surprisingly, we're going to make this a draw. Don't know why, I just feel like making a draw. And we'll make it a double DQ, why not? Obviously, I mean, our product might sort of prevent that from actually being successful, but it'll be interesting to see, you know, nonetheless. Definitely won't make it the main event there. And finally, we need a promo. So Austin, Tyler, Felipe, and finally Cobra. All right, there we go. Another show done and dusted. Well, booked anyway. I guess we'll work the crowd for this first match again. All right, there we go. We need an extra minute. A few minutes, actually. There we go. All right, so we start off with a 27E. We have Felipe Caballero defeating Kyla Adams in 9:39 by pinfall with a Caballero drop. Again, I mean, the match is pretty bad considering we have the negative chemistry. We then go into a 32E+. We have Austin Smooth drawing with Cobra in 9:47 following the double disqualification. And apparently Austin was really off his game. But yeah, the match rating getting the same number, a 32 there, as both in-ring performances from Austin and Cobra. The Angle gets a 37D- with Austin Smooth improving in acting. So that's good. And the main event does pretty well, 39D-. In a decent match, we have Austin Smooth and Kyla Adams defeating Felipe Caballero and Cobra in 13:01, when Austin Smooth defeated Cobra by submission with a smooth hold. Again, Adams the weak link there with a 21 in-ring performance. And the show with a 36D-. Good to be back in the D-minuses there. Nice. All right. I feel like we are progressing relatively quickly. Obviously, the finances are really, really bad. You know, losing 12,500 a month at the moment it's bad. It's very bad. But let's have a real quick look at the finances here. Now, the sponsorship money is only, well, after last month, it was actually short of 2,000. I feel like that's really low. That's really low, and that's actually got me really worried. Because, I mean, to get back to where we are, that's over 10 months. And, I mean, we don't have 10 months. Okay, yeah, a little bit nerve-wracking. A little bit scared. But I'm hoping it's all going to be fine. Alright, Felipe has decided to relocate to the Mid-South. All right. Book the next show. And I forgot to fire the referee again. All right, so Felipe's improved his behavior there. Positive impact. Let's give Felipe a little rib. Okay, nice. Felipe saw the funny side there. We're up to 8 popularity. Just noticed that. There we go. 8F in the Mid-South. Alright, so let's start off with, who haven't we versed recently? Let's verse Austin. I think that's a good match. Of course, we were tag team partners at the last show. Austin can get the victory. The other match, Cobra taking on Bob Casey. And we'll have Cobra get the victory there. Adams is the road agent. Bob Casey blocking it. Can I keep him strong? There we go. Okay, that works. And for the tag match, we'll do Austin and Bob Casey taking on Cobra and Kyla Adams. With, with Kyla Adams getting the victory on Bob Casey. Again, probably going to have to keep him strong. And the road agent can be... Yeah, we'll go with Gidio again, I guess. He's got a C-. Yeah, so he's blocked it again. But let's see if keeping him strong will do anything this time. And it works again. Okay, perfect. Finally, let's do our angle. So Austin, Bob. We're not going to rate Bob. Cobra and Kyla Adams. All right. There we go. And we'll just make this a work the crowd match as well. Run the show. Starting off with a 33E+, we got Austin Smooth defeating Kyla Adams in 10-11 by submission with a smooth hold. No worker improvements there. We then go into a 28E, which is pretty dreadful, actually. Cobra defeating Bob Casey in 10-02 by submission with a Viper Vice. The angle gets a 37D-. And the main event does incredibly bad because we decided to keep Casey strong. I might actually just stop using him, to be honest. Let's keep him as the road agent. But yeah, 29E. Cobra and Kyla Adams defeating Austin Smooth and Bob Casey in 12:40 when Kyla Adams defeated Bob Casey by pinfall with a K trigger. And we also have lots of improvements here. We've got Austin Smooth and Kyla Adams in performance skills. And then we also have Cobra improving in flying skills. Let's end the show. Get a 31E+. Not great, considering the last show was a D-. But I guess that's fine. Alright, what I want to do now, let's have a quick look at Kyla Adams. Back up to 18 popularity. Now the skills. I want to have a quick look at the entertainment skills here. They've improved a lot since last month. So at the start of the month, we were at, I guess, a 15. No, I guess we're at 22 for March, yeah. We're now up to 24, which is good, so that's 2 points already. 74 psychology, I think that's gone up another point. which is impressive. D minuses for chain wrestling and mat wrestling. Okay. Feel like we're coming along nicely. Have a quick look at the the performance stats, the basics, safety, and consistency. They're all, yeah, going up pretty well. I mean, selling's going up as well. I mean, that was a 50, I think. My selling. Yeah, so we start off on 50. Gained 4 points. It is a relatively slow stat to increase. But yeah, let's give everyone an auto push. I want to see where everyone's at. So Austin's an upper mid-carder. We've got Bob Casey down to mid-carder. Cobra is still a mid-carder. Felipe's upper mid-card. Hideo Kato now lower mid-card, which I think will change to mid-card. Just because I think I want everyone to be a mid-card or above. So Kyler Adams is now a main eventer. I mean, I haven't actually pushed him that hard. We then have Madden, so we'll actually fire Madden. We'll grab someone else. And then finally we have a main event Seth Whitehead as well. Now, he's been main event the whole time, staying as a franchise player there. Good stuff. He's doing relatively well. I mean, we just looked at him before. But he also has relatively good star quality. A nice C+ there. And of course, him and Felipe already being in a good chemistry tag team. Alright, so we need a referee. And we want him to work in the USA. There we go. Let's just go for another relatively cheap one. 400 to 500, I think, is the price range that we want. Dale Kenny. I think the other guy's actually better. I would like to get Aaron Lawrence. I would like a female ref, but yeah. I mean, we could get Gregory Chapman. I know he's absolutely trash, but 200 per show is relatively cheap. Kurt Lovenkrantz. I mean, he's a ginger. I don't mind gingers. That's funny. I mean, I'd like to get Pee-wee. But again, he's also 800 per show. Let's go. Let's go with Kurt. It's alright, so we're going to get a new referee. He wants... Oh, okay, 310, that's perfect. 90 cheaper than what what was said that he wanted per appearance. Alright, so let's advance. Obviously, we'll have to accept the contract for Mr. Lovenkrantz. Just again, guys, don't want to harp on about it, but if you could smash the like button, be much appreciated. Just show your support. Again, also leave a comment down below. I do respond to all the comments, so if you have a suggestion, if you particularly want me to do something, if you want me to sign someone, perhaps, you know, make sure you let me know down below. I mean, even if you're just enjoying the series, drop a comment, say you're enjoying it. I mean, I absolutely love reading those types of comments where people say, you know, great work and stuff like that. It really just lifts you and motivates you to keep going and pumping out the content. Anyway, so Mr. Lovenkrantz needs to be auto-pushed into his referee role. All right, let's book another show. The backstage rating's gone up to a 53. Nice. All right. Down to a 55. It's falling, and I'm so nervous. If that gets to a D or a D minus, we're not going to be making much for an off month. We need to be making about 10k in sponsorship money, and at the moment we're at about what, 2k. It does bump up a little bit once you get to small, but I'm just hoping that the bump up is going to be enough. Otherwise, we could be in some serious trouble. Alright, so we'll have Gideo take on Cobra. I feel like that's a relatively good match. We'll give Gideo the victory. I feel like he kind of needs it. You know, his auto push normally would be a lower mid card. Actually need to change that back, don't I? Let's do that really quickly. Alright, there we go. The next match can be... yeah, I don't know, actually. I guess we'll verse Seth again. We had a really good match last time, so... hopefully we can pull off the same here. Let's give Seth the victory, but we'll make it tainted. Of course, he is kind of the heel between us. Obviously, I'm the face. I don't have any points in my heel and face divide, as you can see here. Yeah, I don't know. It's always a weird thing. Like, part of me wants to maybe even do 50-50, but having 100% babyface gives you the platform to become the figurehead of a company. As long as you have, you know, good popularity, good star quality, and charisma. And I just feel like putting points into heel just sort of prevents that from happening. And finally, we'll do the tag match. We'll have Seth and Cobra taking on... Actually, let's do Seth and Gideo taking on Kyler Adams and Cobra. Let's mix it up a little bit. Give that 13 minutes, and then we'll have Cobra getting the victory. Yeah, back on Gideo, I guess. Don't really want to make Seth lose to him. And we'll add the angle. We'll have Kyler and Cobra on Gideo, Mr. Whitehead. I'll have a quick look at Gideo Kato. Oh, there you go. Speaks passable English. Interesting, because he has pretty good entertainment stats. Let's include him. I want to see what happens. Interesting. Alright, let's run the show. Alright, so we start off with a 33E+. We got Gideo Kato defeating Cobra in 932 by pinfall with a lariat. We then move into a 34E+. We have Seth Whitehead defeating Kyler Adams in 1009 by submission with the Minnesota stretch after blatantly cheating. We got Seth Whitehead improving in performance skills there as well. A bit of a better in-ring performance there from Kyler Adams as well. We then go into a 32E+ for the angle. And finally, the main event does really well. 39D-. We got Kyler Adams and Cobra defeating Seth Whitehead and Gideo Kato in 1306, when Cobra defeated Gideo by submission with the Viper Vice. Lots of improvements. Really good to see. We've got Seth in Rumble skills, Gideo Kato in Rumble skills, and luckily Kyler Adams improving in performance skills there as well. And the show, we get another 36 D-. Be really good if we can sort of maintain that type of overall show rating. It's much nicer seeing a D- than it is seeing a red E+. Now, one thing I do want to do actually is we want to shortlist a few people. Aldous Blackfriar, I mean, incredible. If you've ever watched my New York City wrestling series that I had here on the channel, he was a massive part of it. Had a bit of a stable, bit of a tag team with a certain Midnight Prowler. Who else do we want to get? I mean, comments in the first episode were talking about Logan Wolfsbane. Again, very familiar, New York City wrestling series. I mean, this guy, he's definitely coming in purely for his top row. Very similar type of wrestler to Kyle Adams in a sense. You know, good brawling, good chain wrestling, good mat wrestling. Obviously got terrible psychology, but everything else is relatively good. So I feel like he will be a perfect rival to Kyle Adams, and that way they can both sort of rub off on each other and increase skills that they are lacking. So that's for the future. You know, once we become small, once we have enough money to actually run shows properly with, you know, a decent sized, not a massive roster, but, you know, a decent sized roster where we can rotate the wrestlers for different weeks and stuff like that, as opposed to what we're currently doing. But yeah, he will definitely come in. Another one is, of course, Ernest Youngman. Let me just do this properly. There he is, PSW National Champion. And I mean, again, this guy, I've literally had him on both of the series that I've had running. New York City, and then, of course, TCW more recently. Just look at the guy. He's absolutely incredible. And we definitely want to pick him up. The only thing is, if I'm going to stay with Summit Wrestling, I'm not sure if I want to push him too hard, because the other companies will 100% come in for a guy like him with the amount of talent that he has. Of course, there are a lot of other guys that we can have a look at, but El Serpiente, now he would be a decent wrestler as well. Really good flashiness, high-flying ability. Anyway, gonna get wrapped up if I start looking into possibly hiring different workers. Let's advance again, and actually, before we do that, we've gone down to 39th in the rankings. We've actually overtaken somebody. And we're up to 9 popularity in the Mid-South. 8 importance in the Mid-South region there as well. We're only 3 points away from small. Like I said in the last episode, that we'll be small by episode 4. And I think that's definitely going to happen. So let's keep pressing on. I mean, it's going to be very telling of what's going to happen once we do actually go to small, and if we do make that decent amount of money or not. Obviously, if we go bankrupt, I don't want to say the series is over, but to a certain extent, it kind of will be if we're not able to find another job. Now, the thing with that is, if we go to small, and it's looking like we're not going to be able to get out of the hole in regards to the finances, I can actually apply, if there's any vacancies, for other companies that are a step above us. So that means regional companies. Small to regional. Obviously, I can apply for other small companies, other local companies. I mean, obviously, there's no restrictions for companies below you, but obviously, there's only one step up for companies above you. So therefore, if you get to regional, obviously, you can make the step up to cult. And obviously, if you're cult, you can make the step up to national, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does, but that is another possibility if we are in a dire financial situation at some stage. But hopefully none of that will happen. I have a lot of faith in myself to do this and get us out of the hole that we're digging ourselves into. We're literally digging the hole for the possibility of us going under. But it's pretty much the only way to properly run the Road to Glory. You can do a smaller amount of shows, putting yourself in less debt. However, the debt's harder to crawl out of, basically because you have lower popularity, lower sponsorship money. Therefore, you're spending more time trying to get out of the hole that you only have 18 months to get out of. I'm rambling a lot. Let's book some matches. All right, again, we're just going to go with Felipe Caballero as the opponent. Give him the victory. Again, we'll go with a tainted win. Of course, the what are they? The Uprising? Is that their tag team name? I'm pretty sure it is. Oh, the Suffering. Why do I think it's the Uprising? Seems like a very familiar tag team name. And the other match we will give to Austin Smooth, and he can take on Mr. Seth Whitehead. Wonder if I should make him, or change his name to Mr. Seth Whitehead. And we'll make that decisive. I'll put that one there, and then we'll make the tag match for myself and, Kyla Adams and Austin Smooth, and they will take on the Suffering. The winners of the match can be, let's go with Austin, and he can pin Felipe. I kind of like that, actually. All right, there we go. Get the promo in as well. So we'll have Austin, Tyler Adams, Felipe Caballero, and Seth Whitehead. There we go. How good are Austin Smooth's entertainment skills? They're actually not that good. Hideo Kato has better stats. Interesting. I thought he had better entertainment stats than that. I guess not. Alright, here we go. 39 D- for the starting match. We have Seth Whitehead defeating Austin Smooth in 10-17 by submission with a Minnesota stretch. Really good match. We then have a 30 E+. Of course, we have the negative chemistry, so don't look into it too much. Actually, that's not a bad rating. I think our last one was a 28. But yeah, we have Felipe Caballero defeating Kyla Adams in 9:56 by pinfall after using a foreign object. 21 in-ring performance there from Adams. Promo, again, getting a 37 D-. And the main event getting a 44 D. With Austin Smooth and Kyla Adams defeating the Suffering in 12:39. When Austin Smooth defeated Felipe Caballero by submission with a smooth hold. Apparently Felipe was head and shoulders above everybody else, getting a 51 in-ring performance. And then Kyla Adams being the weak link and really off his game as well. No improvements, but a 44 D. Wow. And the show rating getting a D as well. 41 D for the second last Uprising. Yeah, so we have 3 more shows left for the month of March. Already up to about 49 minutes, which is interesting. So I'm going to continue here. We're just going to try and power through these last 2 shows before the champion's crown, basically. Continental Divide. Looking forward to it. I mean, based on performances, I mean, I feel like it's got to either be... Anyway, I'm not going to spoil it. We'll, yeah. I mean, you might have a bit of an inkling as to who it could be. You probably definitely know who it's not going to be. And, yeah, that's going to be Mr. Bob Casey. He's, yeah, not going anywhere near the championship. Can keep his grubby little hands off it. Again, Felipe improving his behavior there. However, Seth does not. Alrighty, up to 92 fans. Not bad. Alright, so for this match, we'll go with Greydogsoftware taking on Kyla Adams. Of course, Greydogsoftware just being really, really strong. With a lot of his stats. Yeah, let's do Bob Casey, and he can take on... Who can he team with? He can team with Cobra, I guess. Yeah, why not? And then Greydogsoftware and myself can team together as well. Probably a bit of a weaker show. Not putting on either Seth or Felipe. Greydogsoftware can get the win on Cobra. And that needs 13. And we'll give, I guess we'll make Caballero the road agent. It's kind of unfortunate when we do it in this way with Casey actually wrestling. Thus preventing us from saving a little bit extra money. I mean, do I want to use him? I do really want to use him. He's got 96 safety and 91 consistency. He's got really good selling as well. Should probably put him up against myself, Kyla Adams, a little bit more often. I mean, just look at those stats. They're actually improving massively. Has the charisma gone up again to 74? I think it has, yeah. Awesome. Alright, so I think, yeah, next show, we will take on Mr. Bob Casey. Great agent, Kyla Adams. I mean, he's really getting frustrating at this point. I mean, if he doesn't job to Kyla Adams, that'll be pretty annoying, pretty frustrating. Alright. Alright, so we start off with a 30E+. We got Cobra defeating Bob Casey in 946 with the Viper Vice. We then go into a 34E+. We got Kyla Adams defeating Greydogsoftware in 1011 by pinfall with a K trigger. 30 in-ring performance from Adams. I like that. It's getting better. The Angle gets a 35E+. And the main event also getting a 35E+. You can kind of understand that we are lacking both members of the Suffering. But yeah, Greydogsoftware and Kyla Adams defeated Cobra and Bob Casey in 12:39 when Greydogsoftware defeated Cobra by pinfall with a lariat. And the show, again, overall show rating also getting a 35E+. We've actually gone up to 38th in the rankings. 9 importance and 10 popularity in the Mid-South. Super close. All right, let's bang out this last show before the pay-per-view, and I do that in air quotes. We'll call it the big event, Continental Divide. And I'm going to make the main event a Fatal 4-Way instead of a tag match. Just making the title itself a bit more prestigious with that type of match. instead of just having a singles match. I feel like it's just a little bit more beneficial. Anyway, got a nice rib there on Austin Smooth. Wrestling industry is about to hit a B-, which is great. Economy still at a 55, so not too bad. Still got a few points there until it goes to a D+. Excuse me. We're gonna have Kyla Adams taking on Bob Casey. Again, we got the negative chemistry, but that's perfectly fine. We'll give it to Felipe. He's really blocking a main eventer. That is crazy, man. Actually, we don't have negative. We have negative chemistry as a tag team, not as singles competitors. Okay, that's... Yeah, I just remembered that. Interesting. So I think it would be beneficial to verse him more often to improve. I mean, it's not going to improve our top row much, because I think he has a lot of Ds and D minuses. Yeah. I mean, submissions will be good. And then I guess Puro and Hardcore and stuff like that. Although that doesn't exactly matter too much at the moment. Anyway, let's get that booked in, and then we want to have... I want to have the main event be Felipe versus... Oh, do I? Let's have them in a match. No. No, we won't. Do Gidio Kato. Again, these matches are getting really repetitive, but at this point, like, it's what we have to do. I mean, I guess I could, fire a couple of these guys, or, I mean, we could bring in 2 new wrestlers that are going to be relatively cheap as well. We could do that, but at the same time, I mean, do I want to do that? Not really. Not until we get to small, and like I said, and I finally see what the, What is Austin's psychology? That is terrible. Cobra? Okay, it's not too bad. The winner of the match? That is a good question. Let's go with Felipe. Let's see if he'll pin Casey. He blocks it as well. He's literally blocking everything. He literally does not want to lose. I suppose he does have popularity in all of these regions, which is really... I mean, it's quite good, to be fair. And that's probably the reason, in his mind, he is actually more popular than all the members of the roster because of his consistent popularity across the board. Anyway, we'll keep him strong because I want him to lose anyway. And he's kind of pissing me off, the fact that we have to actually keep him strong. That could hurt the rating there quite badly. Alright. I think that's all good. Alright, we start off with the 27E. Got Kyla Adams defeating Bob Casey in 10-24 by pinfall with a K trigger. And then we have a 39, I should have made that the main event. 39 D-, we have Felipe Caballero defeating Gidio Kato in 9:36 by pinfall with a Caballero drop. Gidio Kato is improving in performance skills. We then go into a 29E promo. That's annoying. We got Bob Casey learning to show more charisma, and Bob Casey is developing better performance skills from that promo. And the main event, yeah, it does pretty bad. 33 E+. We've got Felipe Caballero and Kyla Adams defeating Gideon Kato and Bob Casey in 12:44 when Felipe defeated Bob Casey by pinfall with a Caballero drop. And then again, Felipe head and shoulders above everybody else with a 44 in-ring performance. Myself and Bob Casey getting a 23. Overall show rating getting a measly 33 E+. Could have been a lot better with the Felipe Gideon main event. Anyway, doesn't matter. Still getting the popularity increase, which is literally all that matters. Alright. Gideon needs a rest for the pay-per-view. But before we get into it, let's make the title. Or create the title. So it's going to be called Summit in capital letters like that. And then North American. Alright, there we go. We need a generic. There we go, generic North American. And what I can do for this is I'll put the Summit logo just above the, just where the American flag is there. I guess in a way I could put it on the plates here, the belt plates. That might be better. I might just make it the whole belt plate for the Summit logo. Anyway, we'll keep it how it is now. It's perfectly fine. Everything there. Fine. Main event title. Like I said, if we decide to go for a world title at some stage in the future, we can either be kept as a main event title, possibly a floating title, or we can just make it the mid-card title. I'd probably like something better as my mid-card title. Something that focuses more on up and coming, if that makes sense, as opposed to just being a generic North American champion. Anyway, let's book our final show. I mean, this episode's going for a little bit longer than I want it to be. Almost into an hour and 3 minutes. But that is fine. Hopefully you guys are still enjoying it. Here we go. Let's book some Continental Divide. Ooh, apparently Gideon turned up late. Stern warning for him. We've got Wrestlers Court here as well. Lovenkrantz, the referee, improving his behavior as well. Really don't need another negative referee. And then we also have Felipe improving his behavior as well. He's had a lot of those, so hopefully that'll improve him quite a lot. Maybe even make him a positive influence in the future. Alright. 102 fans expected. I like that. Alright. Let's book. Alright, who do I want to verse? That's the real question. I mean, we could go Bob Casey again. But I think we should go... I mean, who's not going to be in the Fatal 4-Way match? That's the real question. Actually, I probably want to use... let's just use the people that are going to be in the match. I think that's probably the better option. The members of the match are going to be Austin Smooth, Kyla Adams, Felipe Caballero, and Mr. Seth Whitehead. So that works out pretty well, I would say. So myself, Kyla Adams, we're going to be taking on Austin Smooth. Let's give Austin the victory. Let's do it. I'm fine with that. So Bob Casey, the road agent. Then we'll do both members of the Suffering taking on each other. And of course, they'll be taking on each other again for the North American title. The winner of this one can be Felipe. Open script. Actually, let's make it Seth. Give him a bit more momentum going forward. Yep, that's fine. And then, of course, The main event of the evening. Austin, Adams, Felipe, and Seth. Should we give it 16 minutes? Let's do it. Let's take a risk. And the winner, for those of you that guessed Felipe, you are correct. Our best performer, we literally have to give it to him. I don't see how we couldn't. The only other option would be Seth. Auto name. There we go. Alright, so let's change that. I mean, the fact that he's unhappy, I'm just going to make him the loser of the match, I think. Austin can be the loser, and then I guess we'll keep him strong. Obviously, he wants to be relatively protected, even though he's now going to lose the match. Whereas, I mean, he probably would have lost the match anyway. But yeah, let's book in the angle here as well. We have the 4 members of the title match. The four wrestlers on the show, I should say. And of course, have all 4 on entertainment. Alright, there we go. Let's work the crowd with this match. And yeah, let's run the show. I'm really curious to see how the main event does with 16 minutes. I feel like that's pretty interesting. Anyway, we start off with a 38 D-. Seth Whitehead defeating Felipe Caballero in 9:57 by submission with a Minnesota stretch. And then we have a 35 E+. We got Austin Smooth defeating Kyler Adams in 9:49 by submission with the smooth hold. Austin Smooth improving in performance skills there as well. The Angle getting a 38 D-. And finally, the main event getting a 38 D-. That's pretty good. Got Felipe Caballero defeating Austin Smooth, Kyler Adams, and Seth Whitehead in 15:35 when Felipe Caballero defeated Austin Smooth by pinfall with a Caballero drop. Felipe Caballero wins the Summit North American title. Yeah, a bit of an interesting match, actually. Everyone apart from Kyler Adams had a above 40 in-ring performance. Kyler Adams only having a 23. Smooth with a 43. Caballero with a 41. Seth Whitehead with a 44. That's interesting. He was actually the weakest performer out of the 3. That's interesting. Okay. And the show. Overall show rating getting a 38 D-. I'm going to praise a few people here. We'll go Bob Casey, Kurt Lovenkrantz, and then I guess we'll go with Felipe. Basically, what I don't want to do is, after the big events, I don't want to praise our roster too much, for the just for the fact that it can have negative implications on young wrestlers. Anyway, let's advance the 1 day here. And we'll have a look at how much money we lost in the month of March. Alright, we only lost 5,300. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. That's gone down 7,000. We're up to 10 importance. We need 1 more point. 11 popularity. And we would be so close. Alright, well, that's it's going to wrap the episode up, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you could smash the like button, it'd be much appreciated. Subscribe to the channel as well. And I hope you enjoy the end of episode 3 stats coming up right now.